Good evening. A charity tackling food poverty in Exeter is warning this winter could cause problems for thousands of families across the region. The Feed Our Community group, which started with a single act of generosity, has now delivered more than 10,000 food parcels. Sam Blackledge reports.
Maya Thomas is on a one-woman mission to tackle food poverty. The 22-year-old made headlines earlier this year when she helped a young woman from Exeter who was in need of a food parcel. That one single act of kindness led to much more. And in just 9 months, Maya has turned her passion into a community interest company and delivered more than 10,000 packages around the whole country.
It's crazy when you see that there are so many people that are actually having to make the choice, do I eat or do my children eat? And in the day and age that we are, especially when there's so much food waste, it's shocking that so many people are actually having to go without.
Maya spends almost all of her free time coordinating donations, collecting food waste from supermarkets and driving around the city, delivering essentials to those who need them. It's a real personal crusade, but one she wishes was not necessary.
Yeah, it is really sad, but it's just nice knowing that you can give back, and I feel like there are a lot of people that really want to help. On the outside, when you're an outsider looking in, it does look like a really affluent area, but as soon as you turn down a corner, go down an alleyway, you really do see a different story. So I think there definitely is a lot of food insecurity and poverty in Exeter that people just aren't aware of.
We asked shoppers out and about in the city centre how they feel about food poverty. So a lot of people in Exeter can't afford to put food on the table at the moment. Do you think that's shocking in this day and age?
It's absolutely shocking, yes it is, yes. I mean, the idea that there are people who, just haven't got enough for the basics in life is not good.
I recently was told that I could use a food bank because I had to wait 4 months to get my pension. I don't think anybody can ever be sure they won't need one because nobody knows what might happen.
Maya has today launched a fundraising site which she hopes will help expand her work even more.
I'm working with schools and I see that there are so many households that are insecure. From 2019 to 2020, there are about 5 million households that are in food insecurity, and that needs to be addressed, and just having food banks wasn't enough really. I focus on minority groups, people with disabilities, and just ensuring that people have choice and access to healthy meals.
It's a worthy cause. And with Maya's energy behind it, it will surely go from strength to strength. Sam Blackledge, ITV News, Exeter.
Police are investigating after a woman was raped on the Barbican in Plymouth. She was attacked on Batter Street in the early hours of Sunday morning. The suspect is described as a white man between 35 and 45 years old with a shaved head or very thin blonde hair. Wild swimmers in Cornwall are being urged to stay visible and away from boats and harbours after a swimmer was swept out to sea in Newquay. Cornwall Council says the rescue was made easier because she was wearing a pink hat. They're advising people to follow advice given by the RNLI. To sports, and in rugby, they may still be in limbo over their much-longed-for stadium for Cornwall, but the Cornish Pirates are gearing up to take on Bedford Blues tomorrow. Players and staff say the home tie could be a tricky clash, as Cathy Wardle now reports.
More than 6 years have passed since plans were first approved for a stadium that would give the Cornish Pirates a state-of-the-art home and unlock access to the Premiership. But the 14 million still needed towards the project was overlooked in the latest Chancellor's budget.
The main project is still very much alive, and we are hopeful that obviously the pots of funding that are being allocated to each region as part of levelling up, then we're hopeful that we can make the application into that pot of money. So the main scale project is still very much at the forefront of our minds.
Changes too to the Premiership League, with plans for 14 teams and no automatic relegation or promotion for the next 2 campaigns, could effectively create a glass ceiling the club may find itself banging its head against.
It doesn't concern us too much about the glass ceiling that's being spoken about, but we've still got the vision and the ambition to get to the Premiership, and it's not something that I think will be closed off forever.
For the players, though, their focus is not so much on the bigger picture as the next fixture.
Bedford, a tricky customer, a lot of pace out wide, got a strong DNA in how they play. I feel we've prepped well. We've had some real good ding-dongs in the past, 100-point games 54, 46 and things like that. So it's always bodes an exciting one for the supporters, a bit of a heart sort of raiser for the coaches. But yeah, looking forward to this fixture.
Flanker John Stevens has been regularly stepping into the captain's shoes this season in place of Nico Di Battista, who's now back in training after injury.
I think the lads are in good shape, having had that week off nice and fresh. We've had a good week's training so far. We came back Friday just to get the legs going, and Monday and Tuesday we had 2 really good days. With regards to Bedford, I think they've been in the league every year that I've been here, probably for a long time actually. And it's always a good game. They play good rugby, and we always have good competitive games with them.
This weekend's fixture is at the earlier time of 12:30, and now fans are allowed back in the stands unrestricted. The club hopes supporters will come out and fill them. Cathy Wardle, ITV News, Penzance.
Now, the Lantern Trail has returned to the Lost Gardens of Heligan, and it's bigger than ever before. The event, which sold out last year, officially opens to the public tomorrow, but Marina Jenkins has been to get a preview.
Well, it's very atmospheric down here this evening, winding around the trail across all the grounds. It's full of these wonderful lanterns and lights, including my friend the hare here, who's looking rather spectacular in the night sky. To find out quite a bit more about this, we're going to chat to Laura Chesterfield. You're the head of visitor experience here at Heligan. Laura, what can visitors expect from an evening here?
So much. We're really excited to launch this year's event tonight. There's so many more lanterns than last year. We've had much more planning time this year to think about how we can scale this event up from last year and have even more wow factors for visitors to enjoy as they take in, the gardens, which are just beautiful anyway.
So tell me about where these lanterns have actually come from and the design of them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've collaborated. This is the second year we've collaborated with such a talented company. They're based all the way up in Liverpool, the Lantern Company, and they build and design all these beautiful lanterns themselves, hand make them and hand paint them, so they really do look like the animals that they're based on.
And lastly, how does the format of the evening work for people that do come?
Okay, so we're still really cautious here at Heligan. We want people to feel safe, so we're asking people to pre-book their tickets at 10-minute staggered slots so that people can really come and feel safely spaced out to take in the experience. Once they're here, they've got 1.5 kilometres of lights and lanterns and fire and music to enjoy around the grounds, and it's going to be a really special few nights.
Lovely, Laura. Well, thank you very much indeed. So, as Laura said, there is so much on offer here. There's stalls where you can get nice Christmas presents, you can get nice food. There's all sorts here. And 2 of the people that have been enjoying this is Florence and Jenny. You've just been around the trail. Have you been enjoying it?
Oh, it's marvellous. It's magical, really.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's such a nice difference from last year. I think it makes all the difference that there are more lanterns and, some nice surprises too.
Yes.
Jenny, do you have a favourite lantern you've passed so far?
Well, I think in the Italian garden there's that huge frog with some bulrushes. Well worth seeing. There's so many lovely lanterns to see.
Yeah, that's quite right, Jenny. There's so much here. Tomorrow is the official opening day to the public. It is sold out, but do not fear. There is going to be many more days that you can book in to come here until the 2nd of January. So why not get your friends together, get your family together, come on down to enjoy this dazzling light display.
Marina Jenkins with that report. But will the weather hold up for the Lantern Trail this weekend? Here's the weekend weather forecast with Charlie.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV West Country Weather.
Evening. Now, as we head to the weekend, finally some big changes in the weather, but not tomorrow. It's still going to be a bit of a cloudy, dry and quite mild day, but we're going to see a little bit of rain working through later on, behind which we'll tap into some much colder air than we have been used to. Not tonight, though. It's still dry and still pretty cloudy out there. Winds are quite light as well, and temperatures will just about make it down to single figures across some parts of Cornwall, I think, before the night is out. So a pretty familiar sort of start to the day as we wake up on Saturday, in that it will be pretty dry, pretty cloudy, and it's going to feel quite mild out there. I'm hopeful we'll see a little bit more sunshine trying to break through the day wears on. We may also see just a couple of outbreaks of patchy light rain along the North Devon coast, maybe the Somerset coast as well, but it will be mild again. There's that word, 12 or 13 Celsius, but probably for the last time. bit of rain later on Saturday will start to work its way through. It's a cold front behind which we have colder air, and we'll certainly see and feel that as we head through Sunday. A bright and pretty breezy day with some sunshine, but also a couple of showers thrown into the mix as well. Still stays pretty chilly into next week as well, pretty dry as well, but yeah, you'll certainly notice a cooler feel out there.
Valent sponsors ITV West Country weather.
Thanks very much, Charlie. That is it from us here this Friday evening. We'll be back with your next update tomorrow at 6:15. Do join us then if you can. But until then, have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.